Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest this morning is proving dreams can absolutely come true after being newly crowned Miss Atlanta for the Miss Georgia Scholarship Organization.
That's right. Joining us now is 2024 Miss Atlanta, Aaliyah Phillips. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
We're so glad you're here, and
Thank you.
have chosen quite the platform. Yes, to talk about your education and literacy program, which is so important. I can't speak enough of this. We both love reading.
Yes.
It's so important. Would you talk about why it's so important to you?
Of course. Well, my question would be, why isn't it important? Literacy is the conduit to unlocking the world, but most importantly, the gateway to freedom. So it's important that we're making sure that every single student has an equal opportunity to receive an excellent education so that they can become an exemplary citizen. But that starts with making sure that our students have the literacy resources that they need to be successful. Actually, statistics show that students in low-income areas from ages 8 to 15 don't have a book that they can pick up and call their own. So through my Read Like Miss Atlanta tour, I've actually been able to make sure that every single student that I encounter in the classrooms that I go into can pick up a book that they can call their own and take it home so that they can practice reading.
Oh, okay, come on.
Yes, no matter where you live.
Yes, Aaliyah. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that tour. Are you bringing books to different schools, or how does this whole program work out?
Yes, so I was so blessed to kick off my Read Like Miss Atlanta tour in November, which is National Literacy Month. I was actually able to partner with schools all across the state of Georgia, as well as 6 children's book authors right here from Atlanta, and 1 actually in Houston, Texas. They were so gracious to give me their books so that I could make sure that I was giving them back to students that needed them the most. And on this tour, I go into classrooms, I read the books, but then I give them a surprise because they don't know that they're going to be able to take that same book home and be able to read it on their own. So it's important that I'm making sure that they have the literacy resources. But I always hone in on the fact that you're never going to be able to reach your career goals if you do not pick up a book and read.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to take the next question so our girl Becky can catch her breath here. But what I think is so incredible is that you are doing this on top of prepping for the competition, which you said is in June for Miss Georgia. Tell us all about that.
And as a full-time student, too, college student.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. I just graduated, actually, with my Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education. So I'm from Columbus State University.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I'm on track to become my own teacher, too, as well.
Okay, I'm tired listening to all of this, but also really excited for you.
I'm busy.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
So back to your question.
So June,
so Miss Georgia actually takes place from June 12th all the way to June 15th. But we're going to be there 9 days before. So it's going to be this whole week of preparing and making sure that we put on the best show for you. Actually, I think that the state of Georgia puts on the best scholarship competition because it's actually a part of the Miss America organization. So it's an amazing organization where girls are able to compete for scholarship dollars to pursue their education. And that's all I ever want to do as a teacher, is inspire the next generation to continue to be lifelong learners. I've actually been able to obtain $4,500 to continue my education. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Through my participation.
Incredible.
So amazing.
So amazing. Okay, so one last thing before you go here. You know, what's next? We're going to speak into existence. We're biased because we're in Atlanta.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and say Miss Georgia.
Okay,
So
I like it.
You know,
I like it.
we like to speak into existence over here on
Right.
ATL Live.
I love it.
So after that, when you come back and see us, what is your goal moving forward?
I would definitely have to say I would love to expand my tour to all of the state of Georgia. I've been able to nitpick here and there, but really we were focusing on Title I schools here in Atlanta. But I would like to continue across the state of Georgia and then hopefully the nation. I want to make sure that every single student has a book that they can call their own so that they can practice reading, because reading is how you succeed in life. It starts with making sure that every single student has the literacy education they need to be successful.
Aaliyah, congratulations. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Inspired, and best of luck. Please come back and see us.
Of course.